It's a lovely afternoon here in Moore, Oklahoma. This morning, I was out doing some much needing planting in my garden when the mailman came with a package full of my most recent banknote purchases. And I thought, I've never done an unpacking video, so here we go. It's an unpacking video based on my order from an eBay coin shop by the name of Yuri111. I really enjoy the notes and the quality of notes I've been able to get from Yuri. And earlier I got a couple of notes from somebody new in Houston, so I'll share those notes with you too in just a cursory introductory way. Let's begin. I went ahead and marked out my address because people are like, don't do an unpacking video unless you mark out the address. Well, I do want to maintain my anonymity as much as possible. So here we go. Oh, and if you notice dirt under my fingernails, please forgive me. I've been working in the garden. Got a lot of funkias and a lot of cannas and a lot of daylilies planted today. And pulled more than my fair share of weeds, so maybe someday I can do a show on banknotes that have plants on them. Alright, so I got the end of the envelope open, and here we go. This is how I receive things from Yuri. Nice and well packed. He usually has my copy of the bill taped around the notes, and my look at it, if anything, is very cursory. And, these envelopes are free from the U.S. Post Office, so yeah, let's get 50 of them and let's cut them in half and use them as the cardboard for mailers. He's a genius, and if I ever go into business, I'm going to follow his model. Oh, if I tear this, I might be able to get my notes out just a little bit easier. Well packed. If any of my notes get bent, it's strictly my own fault. Nothing left. So let's see what's going on. He usually sends these in nice holders that I recycle into one of my bigger holders. So let's take a look and let's see what I have received. These are the small size holders I use to put my notes in. And these are the bigger size I use to put my notes in. So I think I'm set up for everything. Let's start with this big envelope, or this big package here. My guitar playing fingers help me keep from bending my notes. Okay, I got that eased open. And it looks like my first note is from Macao. And it's a 20 patakas. And I got this note because it shows an airplane landing on an airport runway. So, boom, love it. I'm going to instantly put this in a holder. Like that. Then I can enjoy it to my heart's content. My next note is a little more than I like to pay for a note, but I figured, where else am I going to get such a charming vignette? So what I have here is a lovely little note from French Polynesia, 1,000 franc. It's a current note, so I spent a little more, but one reason I felt comfortable to spend money on this note is because not only does it have the sea turtle, but there's a ray right there, which is not a common, critter you see, but it is on several banknotes, but now it's on one that I have. A couple of neat birds on the other side. I can't wait to research that one further. One of my favorite notes from Iraq is this vignette of a dam. Yes, it's one of those dam notes that I like to collect. And on the back is a winged beast, which will be the subject of one of my future talks. I did extensive research on this winged beast in the book of Ezekiel, and it's fascinating what I discovered, and it's just amazing at how ancient literature can be meaningful even today. I can't wait to share this note with you guys in a future video. My next note that I got is from Indonesia, and it is a 2.5 rupiah from 1968. Same general on the whole series. And on the back, I guess a lady in harvesting. Nothing to write home about, but this is a note I didn't have in my collection, and the older I get, the more complete I like to have things, so forgive me for that. My next 1,000 note is a 10,000 sum, and this 10,000 sum is from, oh crud, who does the sum? Uzbekistan. And one reason I got this Uzbekistan note, oh, it's a little too big for the small holder. One reason I got this Uzbekistan note is they have gone from Cyrillic to Western alphabet. So all of a sudden I don't have to read Cyrillic anymore whenever I'm working with notes from Uzbekistan. I can be mystified in a Western alphabet now, but there you go. Uzbekistan, Republic, Res Republica, Markazi Banki, and this is a 10,000 sum. It's a beautiful note. Can't wait to do some research there. Another little country I enjoy collecting is Bhutan. And here's a Bhutan something. A 5 Ngultram. Forgive me for even trying to pronounce that. But I love it when they have these mystical birds on them from Asia. In Korea, that mystical bird is called a bonghwang. I don't know what it's called on a Nepalese note, but I'm very pleased to get this note. And one of the palaces is on the back. Very nice, very nice. Another one of those Iraqi dam notes. I guess you can't just have. I guess you can never have too many dam notes. So, same winged beast on the other side. I don't like to just have one type. I'm not the kind of collector that likes to have 2 of every note, but if there's like multiple dates for a note, I don't mind having one of each date. I can still show the front of one and the back of another. So here we go, another dam note from Iraq. Next note is a polymer $2 bill from Singapore. I love them with the modern windows, and you know, they don't really date them, but they put these little symbols on the back of them. And on Numista, there's people who are rightfully kvetching because they're like, how do I tell the year on these Singapore notes? All there is little symbols. Well, in this case, there's 3 hollow stars, and there might be 2 hollow stars or 1 hollow star, or filled in stars, or boxes, or outlines of boxes, and they all mean a different year. And I suppose somebody in Singapore can enlighten us, and hopefully they will share with the Numista catalog the code that lets us know what these different years are. But I still like having them. And I've discovered with Singapore notes that you should get them when they come out because they tend to go up rather easily. Next note is a 50 dong from Viet-Nam. And not strangely enough, it's too big for that small holder, so it's going to go in a big one. It has the smiling visage of Ho Chi Minh, who may or may not have spent time as a chef in the United States. There is a lot of legend that he was a chef at a specific restaurant, and he may very well have been, but he also had like more than 200 different nom de plumes and operated with great mysteriousness in his little group of students who were agitating against the colonial government of Vietnam. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, look, it's a damn note. It's another one of those damn notes I love so much. And the last big note I have is from Iraq, and it is actually too big for even my big holder, so I got to see if I have something for it. So let me go to my magic holders. Well, I can find something for it later, but it's a beautiful note. It's a 25 dinar, and I love horses, and the Middle East does horses so well, and then they do fountains and water in courtyards very well as well. So this is a note I'm going to have to find a bigger holder for. Fortunately, bigger holders exist, and I will make do. So let's see what I have in my other holder. I have a nice little early ringgit from Malaysia. We've been having some questions as to whether or not we want to call the Brunei a ringgit or a dollar. And I've been outvoted, but the banknotes clearly say ringgit on the face of the note and dollar on the back, but because of that dollar sign symbol, they want to call it a dollar. But on the Malaysian notes, they have the dollar sign too, so I guess it's whoever has the bigger voice or wants to fight it, and I just don't really feel like fighting it out. There is more to life than whether it's a ringgit or a dollar, people. Next note I have is from Samoa, and it is a 5 tala. And as a school teacher, I appreciate this note because it shows a student so studious that they are doing their homework on the floor of their house. And it must be nice to have that limberness to sit on the floor and work like that. Lord knows I haven't been that limber for at least 5 years. More like 30 years. But it's kind of a nice little note. There's a little boy doing his schoolwork there on the floor. And on the back of the note, we have the scene of a port city. So it'll be another fun note to research. Tukina comes up next. This is another polymer note, and it looks like it might fit in the small holder, but just barely. But what I like about Papua New Guinea notes is when people go, how do you date a Papua New Guinea note? You don't really have to try that hard. Just find a serial number, and in this case we have it right here. And the first 2 digits tell you the last 2 digits of the 4-digit date. So this is 17, so this is a 2017 Tukina. I've been waiting for this next note for quite some time. And I finally broke down and paid not too terribly much for it, but more than I like to pay for a note. And I got it because I love the little fish on there. There's just a lot of pretty detail on the note. And we got a cute little fish there. This fits in one of the small holders, so let me hold it and then we'll take a second look at it. Here on the back side is a scene from nature, and it looks like the Grand Pacific Hotel from colonial times. And take a look at the old style automobiles on it. So this fits nicely into several theme collections. Can't wait to share that one. Next note is a 10 Samoa tala. Yeah, people are kvetching about whether or not it's a tala or a dollar on Numis as well. I'll let them hash it out, and then I'll go along with whatever they decide, because I can look them up as a dollar or a tala, but I do agree with some of them who want there to be a consistency. So here is a banana harvest on the front of a 10 tala note of Samoa. And on this side we have a lovely beach scene. I can just shut my eyes and imagine myself there right now. It is so nice. I mean, that water, it looks like it might be cooler the deeper it gets, and just nice, warm, and lapping on my feet, and the shade of a palm tree. Oh my gosh, I'm talking myself into why am I still here in Oklahoma. Oh, I got this note too. Maybe it's a different year or a different pick number, or maybe it's an accident. Regardless, I'll look it up and we'll see. This is another one of those 5 talas from Samoa that depicts an extremely studious young student doing homework and writing on the floor of their home. And on the back side we have that lovely scene. So I'll figure out why I have 2 of them. Maybe they're just different dates or types. And finally, out of Mr. Yuri's notes, I have a 20 tala from Samoa. And this note is a note I was glad to get because it shows one of my favorite themes to collect: fishing nets, fishermen. I grew up in the panhandle of Oklahoma, and I remember looking at National Geographics growing up and seeing all the ones about the deserts and the Australian outback, and thinking, oh wow, it'd be so hard to live in the Australian outback. Never once did I put together the fact that I live in the Australian version, or the US version of the Australian outback. It was so dry out in the panhandle that the tomatoes were only 2% moisture. We'd get about 10 inches of rain a year, and most of it was in the form of snowfall in the bitter winters. So things that ran around the theme of fishing or water-based themes were always fascinating to me growing up. And this 20 Tala is no exception. So those are the notes that I purchased from Yuri. Now, another dealer whose name escapes me had a package of 3 notes that I received earlier in the week, and one of my favorites from that package is this 200 franc from Belgium that depicts Adolphe sax, and of course all the themes are musical notes. There's a saxophone, and here's the I don't know the saxophone words, but take a look here at this offset register. When you hold this up to the light, you can see the complete mouthpiece and the reed to play a saxophone. And on this side of the note, we have a city skyline, and we have jazz musicians over here on the left-hand side. We have a saxophonist here, and this is rumored to be the profile of Charlie Parker. So I'll find out, and I'll research and present that to you. And the last 2 notes I want to show you are from Poland. One of my favorite subtopics to collect is Polish coins, and Polish banknotes have become no less interesting. And I was able to get a 10 zloty commemorative that has Pilsudski on it and the Belvedere Palace. So I'm glad to have that one. And this is another unpronounceable name for me, but it is one of the commemorative notes of Poland that you need to have if you want a complete collection. And so I got it. And I believe it is it's a note that commemorates Julius Słowacki, a poet and playwright, and is considered one of the most outstanding artists of Polish Romanticism. So there you go. These are my notes for the week, and since we started our distancing, these have been the first notes I've bought in more than a month. I'm more than happy to share them with you, and I can't wait to do little presentations for you. Please like my page. Please subscribe if you haven't. Please share. And please visit Numista. We have almost 7,000 banknotes on the website now, and you're able to go online, create an account for free, and log your notes, and create new listings if we don't have one yet. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your interest in what I do for the hobby. I hope you have a jewel of a day. This is Benjamin. Goodbye.